So can anybody tell me in the last lecture we have completed up to, I think we have completed about the twiddle factor and its examples, or still remaining? Please confirm that. I'm showing you the slides. Just tell me which was the last slide we have covered. Can we start with that? First we have discussed about DFT, and then we have calculated the example of DFT and IDFT. I am having query in that in your class I have covered twiddle factor or not. Please confirm. Apurva Siddharth, please unmute your mic. I want to talk. Yeah, okay. Can you please tell me which was our last slide? Because I'm having a little confusion because I'm taking the same topic in both the classes, EC as well as computer. Okay, after twiddle factor, we have done one example. This one, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, okay. It's okay. Then we go for the next example. Please note down this. I think as Apura told me, we have covered the 2, 3, 4, 4. I'm having little confusion because I'm taking the same topic and same slides I'm covering in the EC class. So now, as we have covered the first example of DFT using twiddle factor, and the sequence is 2, 3, 4, 4. Now we go for the second example. So just note down the example and try to solve it yourself. The example is find DFT for a given sequence x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You have to use the same procedure. In your, this is the previous example. In this, we have to find out the DFT. We have to calculate the DFT of n point. N means 4 points. So here 0, 1, 2, 3 that we have taken. Then this twiddle factor matrix, and then we have multiplied here instead of addition equal sign. We have to apply the multiplication. When you multiply both the matrices, you are getting the output. So for this twiddle factor matrix, we have derived the simplification for every value of W, W square, W3, W4, W6, and W9. That is represented over here. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken, we have to calculate the DFT. So we have taken 4 cross 4 twiddle factor matrix, its values calculated by these equations, and then multiplied this with the given sequence. So this is matrix multiplication between n cross n, means here 4 cross 4 twiddle factor matrix with n cross 1 x of n or given sequence. So it will give you the output as a n cross 1 DFT sequence. So this will be our DFT sequence in previous example. Now similar way you have to solve for this example where x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 using the twiddle factor matrix. Okay, please try to solve it, and as you get the solution, comment me on the comment box. Okay, few of you are getting the answer. Yashvi, okay. Vishwajit Dwivedi, okay. This example we already solved earlier with the help of DFT equations. Now we are trying to solve the same example with the help of a twiddle factor matrix. Harshil, okay. So this is the solution for the example 1, 2, 3, 4. So please note down. We are to calculate the DFT as here x of n. Here total 4 samples are given having value 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to find out the 4-point DFT which start from 0 to n minus 1. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So here you have to apply this Twiddle factor matrix. So you have to remember as this is n cross 1 n, we have to apply 4 cross 4 Twiddle factor matrix. These first row are 1, first columns are 1, and the remaining are the w square, w raised to 3, w raised to 4, w raised to 6, and 9. So here we have to calculate these terms omega or w2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. And here we have to multiply it with the given sequence. So here we have calculated this. It's the same as your previous example. Omega n is equal to e raised to minus j, not j, e raised to minus 2 pi by n. So here as n is equal to 4, we are writing e raised to minus 2 pi by 4, e raised to minus 2 pi by 4 is equal to e raised to minus pi by 2 is equal to minus j. So this is the value of omega 1. Similarly, omega 2, that is nothing but here minus j. So square of that, it will give you minus 1. Omega 3 minus j's cube, it will give you the value j. So these are the few values we are getting. Now for the remaining values, we have to apply the periodicity property. So as our sequence having length 4, so it repeats from 0 to n minus 1, so 0 to 3. So for the repetition omega 4, we have to write omega 4 minus 4. So at the fourth location or at the fifth location, what we are getting, suppose you are sequence having these 4 values 1, 2, 3, 4, and again it repeats. So suppose I show you the repetition over here, what happened on the fifth place, what happened, you are getting this one, this will be the 1. So here you can say this is nothing but your omega 4. Here it started omega 0, omega 1, omega 2, omega 3, omega 4. This omega 4 having the same value as omega 0. Okay, so this is how we apply the periodicity property. Then omega 5. Here at this place omega 5. So you can easily, here we have to calculate the omega 6, not omega 5, but omega 6 at this location, third location. So what happened at the third location? Omega 6, that is nothing but omega 6 minus omega 4. So you are getting omega 2. So here this is the value of omega 2. So this you are getting at this particular place. Okay. So this way we have to write all the values omega 4 minus 4, that is 1, omega 6 minus 4. So here omega 2. So whatever value we have find out for the omega 2, here this one that we have to apply omega 9. So as your sequence having length 4, so to get the ninth value or omega 9, we have to repeat this sequence twice. So we find out the answer by omega 9 minus 2 times repetition of this sequence. So 2 into length of that particular sequence, that is 4. So 9 minus 2 into 4. This is not 2.4, this is 2 into 4. So that is 8. 9 minus 8 is equal to omega 1. Again, you have to apply the value of omega 1. So this is how we are finding the Twiddle factor matrix over here. Okay, so now we have to calculate the DFT. This is Twiddle factor matrix n cross n, here particularly 4 cross 4. Then we have to multiply it with the input sequence x of n cross 1, here particularly 4 cross 1, and you get the answer 10 minus 2 plus 2j, then minus 2, and last one is minus 2 minus 2j. So this is the answer. Okay, so now we move to the next example. Hope all of you clear. Anybody have any doubt, you can ask. Yes, please. Anybody having any query? Hello. Am I audible to all? Okay. Okay, now write down the next example. In this example, we have to find out the inverse discrete Fourier transform for the following signal. The signal is x of n, where the n having values 0, 1, 2, 3, and the values are 0, 2 minus 2j, 0, 2 plus 2j. So we have to find out the IDFT for the given sequence. Here we have to calculate the x of n from given x of k. So here the example is of IDFT. We have to solve this example with the help of Twiddle factor matrix. So in this particular example, we have to use this equation. This one, just note down this equation. IDFT calculation, where we have to calculate the x of n. So this is nothing but small x of n is equal to 1 by capital N, 1 by capital N, then omega n, that is nothing but Twiddle factor matrix. So here as your just a second. Yeah. For DFT, we are using this equation. X of k summation or sigma n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n raised to k n. But here for the IDFT, our equation is, wait, just a second. Yeah, this one is the equation for IDFT. X of n 1 by n sigma k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k e raised to j 2 pi k n by n. So here we are using the minus sign, and here we are using the e raised to j 2 pi k n divided by capital N. So what happened in this case? In first case, when we calculate the DFT, how we define the Twiddle factor? Just a second. Yeah, we define the Twiddle factor like this. Okay. Here this was the final one. Just a second. Omega n raised to kn, omega suffix n raised to kn is equal to e raised to minus j 2 pi kn by n. But now for the calculation of IDFT, we require omega n raised to minus kn. We have to change this term to minus. Why? Because here we require the e raised to j 2 pi kn by n. So here the sign of this omega n will be changed. So here to change the sign of this, what we have to do, the imaginary term. Now you can see here I am changing the sign over here. So what happened? The sign of imaginary term is changed. So when sign of imaginary term is changed only, so we can say we have to find out the complex conjugate of the Twiddle factor and then multiply it with the DFT sequence to get the original sequence x of n. Okay, so let us solve this example. Okay, so IDFT of this sequence. So here we have to find out the x of n. X of n is equal to 1 by n summation or sigma k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k omega n raised to minus k. You notice compared to previous equation, the two changes are here. Here minus kn and here 1 by. Now we have to solve this for n is equal to 0 to n minus 1, where omega is equal to e raised to minus 2 pi by. Now here this is a Twiddle factor matrix. 1, 1, 1, 1. First row is 1, first column is 1, and remaining values. Now we have to find out the complex conjugate of this omega n, or complex conjugate of Twiddle factor matrix, which is omega n. This is a complex conjugate of omega n, which is given by this matrix. Here you have to change the row n matrix. So you will get this matrix. Please note down this. This we have to utilize for the solution of the example. Omega n complex conjugate. So here as your rows become columns and column becomes row, again you are getting the first row as a 1 and first column as a 1. Then here the term are 1j. Let me discard this. 1, 1, 1, 1. Second row is 1j minus 1 minus j. Then third row is 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1. And last one is 1 minus j minus 1 j. this is how we are writing how to find the complex conjugate. First we write this. Now I am talking here, I am taking column and converting it into the row. This 1j minus 1j. So here you can see first column or second column 1j minus 1j, 1j minus 1 and j. Second is this one 1 minus 1 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1 1 minus 1, and this one is the next one 1 minus j minus 1 j. So this is how we are writing the complex conjugate of the triple factor. Okay, now we have to utilize this matrix for the solution. X0 x1, yeah, your answer are correct. X0 x1 x2 x3 1 by n. Here this is a complex conjugate of trivial factor matrix, and then you have to apply this x of k, which is given to you 0 2 minus 2j 0 2 plus 2j. When you go for matrix multiplication of trivial factor matrix with your given DFT sequence, you will get the x of n, which is nothing but in this example 1 1 minus 1 and minus 1. This is the answer for the example. All of you please note down the example. As I told you in the last class, it may happen sometime I will not include the examples in the slides. Okay, in previous slides I have added the example, but next time onwards I will remove the example from the slides. So for these examples and for your practice, you have to note down the examples and their solutions. Okay, those finished. Just write down the statement for the next example. We have to find the 4-point DFT. We have to find the 4-point DFT. We have to find the 4-point DFT of x of n is equal to cos n pi by 4. We have to find out the 4-point DFT of x of n is equal to cos n pi by 4. In the previous examples, what happened when we calculate the DFT? What happened? Directly values are given to you. X of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. But here one equation is given. You have to solve that equation first and find out the four values. Then how to calculate the four values? First, we have to apply n is equal to 0. Find out the value of cos n pi by 4. Then take n is equal to 1. Find out the value n is equal to 2, and so on till x of n is equal to 3. So for x of 0, what is the value? X of 1, what is the value? So this way you are getting the four total values. Okay, after getting the four values, you have to multiply this with 4 cross 4 trivial factor matrix. You will get the solution. Okay, just try to find out the solution. I'll give you 5 or 7 minute time. Try to finish this. Okay, all of you try to solve this example and share your answer in the comment box. Till you are solving, let me announce two instructions, actually three instructions. First one is for tomorrow you are having lab for this subject DSP. So prior to that lab, all of you please install MATLAB in your laptops or in your system. So MATLAB install the MATLAB in your systems. Any version is okay with this digital signal processing, because we don't go for the some other competition like image processing, machine learning. So is it okay? You can download any of the version, available version afterwards 2007. Okay, so you can download and install that, or if you are having, you can install directly. Second is, now from this week onwards, you are having test on every Saturday. Test on every Saturday of 20 marks. Okay, and for this week, timings I will let you know by tomorrow. But as far as subject, you can see the topics are concerned. We cover DFT, IDFT, their equations, the example based on their equations, then DFT and IDFT using Tweedle factor matrix and their examples. So this is the syllabus for this week test. Okay, so you are having one test of DSP on Saturday. Okay, can you tell me the preferable timings for this so I can set accordingly?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if it is possible, can we keep the test on weekdays, because Saturday we already have assignments and projects going on. So
Yes,
weekend
sir.
would be reserved for that purpose.
Yes, sir. And
Actually,
even courses are going on, that's why.
Yes, sir.
just a
Many of
second.
us are in.
Act-
Yeah.
Yeah, I got your point. Actually, we are not planned the test. Actually, we got the instruction to conduct the test on Saturdays. Okay, so as per the institute plan, I am planning. That is not my separate plan, so I am not taking the separate test on Saturday. As per the institute schedule, we have to take the test on Saturday. So let me take one test on this Saturday. Afterwards, we will plan. I will discuss your points with the sir, and we will plan accordingly. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir, but please try to keep it on weekdays from next time on.
Yeah, we will try. I'm not sure about that, because on the weekday we have to complete all the schedule, so it is a little difficult to take the test in the weekdays. Okay, Jinendra Jain, can you please repeat the syllabus? Syllabus is up to the today's lecture. That is, first is DFT, then IDFT, their examples based on their equation, then same DFT, IDFT solution using matrix formulation or using Tweedle factor matrix and their examples. Jinendra, is it clear? Okay. And one thing is, test is not a objective one; it is a subjective test. So I will let you know the timings by today evening. Okay. Okay. A few of you have commented the answer. Let me continue with that. So here, first of all, we have to apply the. Okay, just a second. One instruction is still remain. First is the MATLAB. Second one is the test. Yeah, and third one is the for the practicals. As I told you, format of the submission and every instruction I will let you know. Ajita Mishra. Okay, so one is the MATLAB installation, the second test, and third one is related to the practical. So from tomorrow onwards, your practical sessions will be started. So in these practical sessions, aim of the practical and details of the practical will be discussed with you, and you have to implement that practical within the lab hours, within the 2 hours of lab. And as you finish the implementation, you have to share your screen to show your results. And after completion of your lab, one day timing is on that part. Suppose you are having lab on tomorrow at 11th September, so by the evening of 11th September, you have to submit the file on the given Google link or Moodle link. Okay, that link will active on that particular day only. Afterwards, submission will not be accepted, and your continuous evaluation will be done based on that. So for the transparency, those students completed the practical in 2 hours and submitted the file, and in the next lab, I will ask the Viva based on your practical implementation. Those given me satisfactory answers, they will got the 10 out of 10. So for getting 10 out of 10, you have to strictly follow the deadlines of the submission. Otherwise, your marks will be affected. Okay. So on the same day, you have to submit the file, and always when your instructor or any of the other person will tell you to share the screen, you have to share the screen about what you are doing in then under 2 hours of practical. Okay. And in the next lab session, suppose tomorrow we are performing one lab, for example, say Z transform. So you have to finish the practical implementation in 2 hours. And next week, when we start with the second lab, prior to starting the second lab, I will take one-to-one Viva from the students. You have to answer about the questions related to the implementation and basic theory. I'm not asked the strict equation and everything, but basic theory must be clear and how you have done the implementation. So that 2-3 queries I will ask, 2-3 questions I will ask for each practical, and based on that, marking will be done. Because in this online scenario, it is we are not observing everyone in the lab, so we can easily put the marks. But now this is the only way how we can judge you, and we will justify the marking. Otherwise, what happen? All of you are getting 10 out of 10, or some of you are getting the less marks. So the criteria is you have to fulfill the deadline of the submission, answer the questions in the Viva, and then based on that, we are putting the marks for your practicals. Okay, so hope you all install the MATLAB, and tomorrow onwards we start the practicals. Okay, now let us continue with this example. So cos 0, here first is n is equal to 0. When you are taking n is equal to 0, so here when n is equal to 0, here n means cos 0. Cos 0 will give you the answer 1. Then x of n, where n is equal to 1, cos 1 pi by 4 or simply pi by 4 will give you answer 0.707. Then x of 2 or x2 will give you cos 2 pi by 4. The answer is 0. Last one, x of 3 cos 3 pi by 4 is equal to minus 0.707. So here this is the solution for this. Here just a second, discard this 1 by n because this is the DFT, not IDFT, so we no need to average it. So x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, and x of 3. Here this is 4 cross 4 Friedel vector matrix we are written, and then you have to apply these values as a n cross 1 or 4 cross 1 matrix. When you do the matrix multiplication, your answers are 1, 1 minus j 1.414, 1, and last one is 1 plus 4, 1 plus j 1.414. So few of you are given the answer, that is 1 plus 1 minus j under root 2, 1 plus j under root 2. Yeah, you can mention this term as a j under root 2 also. Okay, so here this term is j under root 2. You can write your answer in this way also. Here minus j under root 2, here plus j under root 2. Okay, so this is the solution for this example. All of you completed? Anybody have any query till this topic? If you are having any query, please ask. This is the syllabus for your first test. All of you completed this example? Please let me know so we can go for the next slide. Am I audible to all? Please respond. Jinendra, am I audible? Have you finished the example? I have to wait for a few more minutes. Am I audible to all? Okay. Have you finished the example? Should we proceed for the next slide? Okay, Mohit asking that 2007B is okay. Yeah, it's okay. As I told you, version which is above 2007 or 2007 itself is okay. No issues. Okay. So now we finished with the introduction about the DFT and DFT. Their example related to that, and then Friedel factor matrix based DFT and IDFT calculation. So now to convert the matrix into conjugate in previous slide. Matrix, you can say you have to find out the transpose of the matrix, or you can say the complex conjugate of that. So here you can start from first row and first column. Your omega n is given 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So now your rows and columns, here you can start from here. First value is 1, as it is 1 1 1 1. We start with the second column. So this will be the 1j minus 1 minus a. This is for the simple way I am telling to you. This is the 1j minus 1j, 1j minus 1j we are written. Then 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, and last one is 1 minus j minus 1 j, 1 minus j minus 1 j. So you can understand simply the whatever columns that is transformed into the rows over here. Okay. Okay, now we move to the next topic. Let's do the introduction about this efficient computation of the DFT. So as you have seen in your syllabus, your first topic is efficient computation of the DFT and FFT algorithms. Okay, as far as your syllabus is concerned, this is the first topic of your syllabus. But prior to starting of this DFT and FFT, we have discussed about the fundamentals of DFT. What is DFT? How we will get the IDFT? How we can apply the Friedel factor matrix and obtain the DFT and IDFT. So this is the introductory part we have covered till today's lecture. Now we start with the first topic of your syllabus, that is efficient computation of the DFT or FFT algorithm. So as we discussed, DFT is nothing but discrete Fourier transform. So it is nothing but the method to find out the Fourier transform of the in the discrete domain. Okay, so another is the FFT algorithm. FFT algorithms are not the separate algorithm. They are nothing but they are used for the faster implementation of DFT. So to implement, as a DFT require lots of complex calculations, to implement that faster way, we use the FFT, fast Fourier transform, in short. Okay, so we are utilizing the FFT algorithms for the implementation of DFT in an efficient way. Okay, so if anybody asks you this query, what is DFT algorithm, what is FFT algorithm? So the AFT algorithms are separate algorithm for the implementation of Fourier transform in discrete domain, but FFT are not the separate algorithm. They are just utilized for the implementation of DFT in an efficient way. So it is nothing but they are again doing the DFT, but in a efficient way. How they are doing efficiently, let us discuss. So there are the two approaches we are using for the implementation or for the efficient implementation of the DFT. One is divide and conquer approach. So divide and conquer approach is, in this approach, DFT of size n, where n is a composite number, is reduced to the computation of smaller DFTs from which the larger DFT is computed. In this divide and conquer, as the approach suggests, we are dividing the larger size DFT of n into the smaller DFTs, and the you can the smaller chunks, and we find out the solution for that smaller DFT and merge them to get the larger DFT computation. So what happened? So instead of directly applying the calculation on the larger sequence, which require more time, more complexity, we reduce that into the smaller chunks, and we find out the DFTs for that smaller chunks or smaller DFTs. Then we merge them, we get the larger DFT. So this is the term divide and conquer. So we divide the larger size DFT sequence and then find out the DFTs for smaller sequences. Okay, so particularly fast Fourier transform FFT algorithm is used for computing the DFT when the size of n is power of 2 and when it is power of 4. So this is the first approach, that is divide and conquer approach. Second approach is linear filtering approach. So linear filtering approach, in this approach leads to the two algorithm. First is Gödel algorithm and second is the Chebyshev transform algorithm. So these are used for the computing of DFT via linear filtering of the data sequence. So in this methods, in these two algorithms which are based on the linear filtering, how we calculate the DFT, instead of directly calculation of the DFT, we are doing the linear filtering of the data sequence and find out the DFT. So these are the two separate algorithms which comes into this category, and this is known as the linear filtering approach. So in this, we are doing the linear filtering of the data sequence and find out the DFT. So first approach is divide and conquer approach. In divide and conquer approach, you have to divide the n size DFT into smaller DFTs and then calculate the DFT for n size sequence or n size composite number into smaller, and then find out the DFTs for that, then merge them to get the larger DFT computation. Then second is linear filtering approach. In this, we are getting the output or we are getting the DFT of the sequence based on linear filtering of the data sequence. So prior to doing this calculation, let us discuss why we require this kind of algorithms. If what are the limitation, if we go for direct calculation, what are the drawbacks or what are the limitations of these algorithms? So here it shows the direct computation of the DFT. Always we compare our computational complexity with the direct computation complexity. So if I go for direct computation of the DFT for a complex valued sequence x of n points, the DFT may be expressed as, so now DFT, here two parts of DFT, real part and imaginary parts is shown. So for the real part of DFT, we use the term sigma n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of Rn cos 2 pi kn by n plus xi sine 2 pi kn by n. So this is how we calculate the real part of the DFT by this particular equation. Then for the imaginary part, x of ik is equal to minus sigma n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 xrn sine 2 pi kn divided by capital N minus xin cos 2 pi kn by n. So these are the two equations to compute the complex valued sequence x of n, to calculate the xr and xi from the complex valued sequence x of n. So in first term, real part is here. In both sequence it is similar. xi is similar. Only we are interchanging these terms. Here we are using cos 2 pi n with the real part. Here we are using this with the imaginary part. Here sine term we are using with the imaginary part. This is sine term we are using with the real part. And the notation here is plus or positive. Here we are using the negative and here also negative. Okay, so only the sign change and whatever trigonometric terms they are interchanged. This is how you can simply remember this equation. So image first is real part of the DFT, then second is the imaginary part of the DFT. So when we go for the direct computation of the complex valued sequence and find out the DFT, how much calculation or how much is the computational complexity? So here it is written 2 raised to n square evolutions for trigonometric functions. So whatever trigonometric functions we are using, For that, 2 raised to n square evaluations of trigonometric functions are needed. Second is 4 raised to n square real multiplication and 4 into n minus 1 real addition. So here both these things are clubbed, you can say, and this will result in a DFT values of XRK and XIK. Similarly over here. So by doing 4 into n square real multiplications and 4n into n minus 1 real additions, we will get DFT values of XRK and XIK. So here 2 raised to n evolutions for trigonometric functions. So whatever trigonometric functions we are using, cos and sine over here, they here as these numbers are twice. Why this number is twice? Because here these terms are present in real part as well as in the imaginary part. So that was the twice of that or square of that is twice of that is mentioned. So twice n square evolution for trigonometric functions, then real multiplication. So 4n square real multiplications and 4n into n minus 1 real additions are needed. A number of indexing and addressing operation. Another is a number of indexing operations and addressing operations to fetch the data. So whenever we fetch the data, means we require the x of n every time for the calculation of this XRK and XIK. Yes, anybody having any query?
Sir, how
You
this
are not,
complexity is calculated?
your voice is not clear. Can you type in the comment box, please?
Yes, sir. Just
So here a number of indexing and addressing operations to fetch the data. Every time we have to fetch the data. So number of indexing and addressing operations are needed to fetch the data x of n, which is nothing but 0 less than n less than or equal to n minus 1, and the phase factor to store the results. So every time we have to index the data, address the data. And so yes, Rishabh Mishra, this complex, how this complexity is calculated, we will discuss this when we solve the examples. Okay, I will show you by with the numbers. If n value is 4, how you are getting these values. Okay, at present we are looking to the general equation, so keep remember as it is. In next lecture when we solve the examples with particular numbers, things will be more clear. Is it okay? So here a number of indexing and addressing operations. So as I told you, to fetch the x of n, we require indexing as well as addressing operations and phase factors to store this results. This is nothing but the complexity when we go for the direct implementation of the DFT. Okay. So now the next approach is remain. We start this in the next lecture, divide and conquer approach. Up to now we discuss about the direct computation of the DFC. So DFT. So let us stop today up to this. Let me take the attendance.